science of plant propagation. Today we're going to be talking about plant propagation without seeds. So it's the science of what? In general, plant propagation refers to taking a portion of an existing healthy plant and allowing it to grow into multiple separate plants. This can be from collecting seeds or separating parts of the existing plant that is capable of growing more. Some types of propagation include sexual, which are from seeds or spores, and this is generally how we create more plants. You plant the seed and you grow the plant. But less common versions are asexual or vegetative. You can see the list we have on there, including grafting, stolons or runners, striking or cuttings, twin scaling, and offsets. It also includes layering and grafting. For this PowerPoint, we will be focusing on asexual or vegetative forms of plant propagation. Layering is specifically where you cut the plant and you can cover it around the stem, and that stem structure will produce more roots. Grafting is where you take joints of different plants and you tie them together. This is often done to get multiple different types of apples on trees, where you tie the two types together and they grow as a single plant. Some ways you can get some propagation through the vegetables that you buy from the grocery store would be this way of propagation. If you have celery, things like celery, lettuce, romaine, bok choy, or even veggies that have the swollen bulb-like bases, like green onions, leeks, fennel, and lemongrass, you can cut the plant's base 1 inch from the bottom, place it cut side up in a shallow saucer, and then add about a ½ inch of water. Refresh that water regularly so that it can get some oxygenation in that water, and so that there's nothing else growing in that water. Because remember, as you're adding light to this plant and it's going through that photosynthesis, whatever else is in that water can also go through that photosynthesis and may be competing with that plant for nutrients that's in that water. So you want to regularly change out that water. Make sure it's in a sunny indoor spot, specifically indoor, because you don't want any bugs getting to it, or you don't want that bad weather. Be sure the water covers the roots, but don't let it cover the top. The roots are the things that are going to absorb the water. The plants photosynthesize, so they need to be above the water. So if you have a sprig of rosemary, you can actually get that to grow roots. Generally, it's going to be easier if you have a rosemary plant already, that you pick a stem off from the healthy plant. You're going to cut the rosemary stem about 5 to 6 inches back from that fresh growing tip. Pull off the bottom 2 inches of needles and stick that stem in a glass of water in a warm place away from direct sunlight. Change that water again every few days, replacing it with room temperature water. Sometimes plants don't like cold water or very hot water. That room temperature will avoid any shock. The rosemary stem cuttings should grow roots in a few weeks depending on the temperature. After about 4 to 8 weeks, it should be kind of obvious if the rosemary cutting has survived. If it hasn't survived, it'll turn brown and start shedding needles. If your rosemary is still green, give it some more time before it sprouts roots. Back on the additional of adding water, if you notice that your roots start to have this gelatinous, cloudy material on it, go ahead and pull your plants out, rinse the roots off, and add it to some fresh water. So pineapples are really cool because pineapples we can get from the store and pull the tops off where the stem meets the fruit, pull away those lower leaves that reveal the stem, and you can place it in a container of water about a half an inch and leave it in a nice, sunny, warm spot in your house. These will grow a lot slower than if you find suckers. Suckers or pups are little plantlets that grow between the leaves of mature pineapple. You can plant these suckers directly into soil and you will have a plant faster. Suckers appear on multiple other plants as well. You can see them in tomato plants, and it'll be right underneath the stem joints from where the stem and the branch meet. When it looks like a kind of an underarm, when there's something growing under that little underarm, that is a sucker. Lucky bamboo is pretty cool as well. You can propagate lucky bamboo at any time using cuttings. If your lucky bamboo is large enough, you can use a sterile, sharp cutting shear to take a stem off of the main stalk that has at least one leaf joint and trim the leaves to expose the growth nodes. Put the bare cutting into a container filled with enough distilled water to completely cover the bottom of the cutting. Distilled water is important because highly chlorinated water will make it harder for your lucky bamboo to grow, and in fact may actually kill it. Keep the water clean and fresh as you watch for the development of red roots. Red roots are healthy on a lucky bamboo. These roots should appear around 30 days. When the roots emerge, put the stalk in a vase with water and pebbles or a pot with soil. Lucky bamboo can grow in soil or in a pot with pebbles and just water, but make sure if it is just a vase with water, again, make sure you change out the water on a regular basis with distilled water. Spider plants are really, really fun, and in fact, we actually have a couple of spider plants here at the Faulkner County Library. For these, you want to cut the green stolon, which is that little green arm attaching the baby plant to the mother plant, at the base of the baby plant. Then you'll take that baby plant and you'll submerge it in a small glass of water, making sure not to let the water touch the leaves. Place this in a sunny window where it's not going to get super cold. And make sure, again, that you add fresh water to keep the base of the plant submerged, but that you're changing it out every few days so that the water does not start to grow funguses or does not start to rot the roots. This, by all means, is not a comprehensive list of how to propagate plants, but it is just an example and to get you started. If you're looking for more information on how to propagate plants, check out some library references. We have physical books in the library, Plant Propagation A to Z, Growing Plants for Free, The Complete Book of Plant Propagation, Secrets of Plant Propagation, and Don't Throw It, Grow It, 68 Windowsill Plants from Kitchen Scraps. You can also find more information online. Wikipedia, extension offices, governmental websites, and other college, university websites will have a lot of information on propagating plants. Thank you for joining us and have a great day.